All right, packet lesson 2.4, Law of Cosines. We need to be on page 65, so get there. And I'm just piggybacking the pre-lesson. And I've already begun this problem in your pre-lesson. So we're just going to start plugging things in where it belongs and just find out what happens. By the way, you can solve these for the angles and give yourself 3 more formulas. But I personally am not going to do that. I think less is more in this case, so we'll just focus on using this. So this is what I mean. This is side A. We don't know what it is, so we're going to go A squared equals B squared would be 9 squared plus C squared, which would be 5 squared. I'm just showing all my work. Minus 2 times B times C times cosine of angle A, which is 115. Okay, degrees. As you can see, calculator, you're going to need it. So we're going to turn that on and clear it all out. And here we go. We can do a little bit of this in our head. A squared equals 81 plus 25. And this is 45 times 2, which is 90. So I'm going to go minus 90 cosine of 115. Now, it's never, ever, 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 ever too late to start talking about the basics. And this is an area where students make mistakes because they don't remember their good friend PEMDAS. You didn't learn that for no reason. You learned it for now. Because look, at a lot of students would go 81 plus 25 minus 90. And you see that 90 is connected to cosine of 115. So this is like one thing we're going to calculate. So yeah, we can go ahead and add that. But A squared equals 106 minus 90 times cosine of 115. So we're whittling it down. Now can I go 160 minus 90? No way, Jose. We got to take cosine of 115. Make sure you're in degree mode. That's negative 0.422. So that's negative 90 times negative 0.422. And that's 106 minus all that. So we're going to go one step at a time. So as you can see, times 90. And these two negatives make a positive. So it's A squared equals 106 plus, it's 38.03. So I'll just say 38. So A squared equals 100, and look at this. I think somebody made this up on purpose. 144. We had to round a little bit, but if we take the square root of both sides, we get A is 12. And so we get 12. Now I want you to notice the instructions say solve each triangle. You know what that means? Find all missing sides and missing angles. So there we go. Now, could we use law of cosine to find this and this? Yes, we could. But if we can use the law of sine, we're gonna. And because I know angle A and side A, we are ready. So we're going to go sine of angle A all over side A equals. Now I'm going to pick either angle B and side B, or I can pick angle C and side C. I'm going to go with B. So sine of angle B all over side B. And look at this. We're ready. So sine of 115 is 0.906. So we'll just call that 0.9. We're going to multiply this way. I can just see that that's going to be 8.1 equals 12 times sine of angle B. So I got to divide by 12. Gone. Divide by 12. So 8.1 divided by 12, 0.675 equals sine of B. Again, we're trying to find the angle. How do we tell our calculator to do that? We do that by going second sine, because if you look right above it, you got sine to the negative 1, which means, hey, we're going to go the other way. We're going to take the inverse. We're going to ask the calculator to find the degree measure. And type in 0.675, we get 42.45. So angle B, remember we went like that, equals 42 point, what did I say, 45? We'll just call it 42.5. And now that we know that this is 42.5, and we calculated that, we figured it out, now we don't need anything but geometry. This plus this, subtracted from 180, will help us figure out what this is. So we're going to add our last answer to 115. We're going to subtract that from 180. We get 22.5. So 22.5. And there we have it, you guys. We solved the triangle. Now you can see why we only have 2 sample problems. Each problem takes a lot of work. And there we go. All right, let's start the next one. This one's unique. Notice, this one had an angle. This one does not. So look at all these sides are really similar. So I'm just going to draw something like an equilateral triangle and just get somewhat accurate. So side A is 10. Keep track of my little parts there. Side B is 12. And side C is 11. Now, you're kind of free. You can use this one, or this one. Just pick one. Just so we get a little crazy, let's go ahead and try this one and put things in where they belong, which means we're going to find angle C first. It didn't matter, but I'm just grabbing one. So here we go. It says C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B, and then it says cosine of angle C. And like I said, I just don't use this. I just whittled this down. 3 formulas for me is good enough. But you could have plugged it in here and it would simplify it a little bit, but 121 equals 100 plus 144 minus, see this right here? It's 120 times 2 is 240. Cosine of C. And again, I'm just going to go like this, 244 minus 240 cosine of C. How bad do you want to go 244 minus 240? I bet you do. Can't do that. Remember PEMDAS? This is connected by multiplication. So I have to subtract 244, subtract 244. So this would be, 3, 2, 1, negative. Don't know why I struggled with that so badly, but equals negative 240 cosine C. Got to divide by negative 240. Don't forget what you're trying to find. You're trying to find angle C. So these would cancel. I know these would turn into positives, and now I just have to go 123 divided by 240. 0.5125, I'll just write it all out. 0.5125 equals cosine of C. We're getting super perfectionistic. So now we're going to take second cosine, 0.5125, and that tells us it's 59.169. So we'll just call this angle C. We'll call this 59.2. We'll round it to there. All right, well, the dominoes are just beginning to fall. We just figured that angle out. Now, we just used the law of cosine. You can see the law of cosine is a lot of work. So if you can use the law of sine, I would recommend it. Notice we have angle C and side C. We're going to start with that. So sine, we're going to use the law of sine now, 59.2 all over 11. And you can pick either one. Let's go with A equals sine of angle A all over side A. And now we got some work to do. So I'll use my calculator here. Sine of 59.2, 0.858. So we'll make that 0.86. Multiply that straight across by 10. We get 8.6 equals 11. Times the sine of angle A, divided by 11, divided by 11. Sine of angle A is 8.6 divided by 11, 0.78. And now we got to go second sine 0.78, 51.26. So I'll just call that 51.3. Just do a little rounding. So that's 51.3. So now I got to take this angle plus this angle, add them together, and subtract from 180. So I'm just going to look at this. I know it's 0.5, and then 10, 10, 11. That's 110.5. So if I subtract it from 180, I know 180 minus 110 would be 70, so I got a little bit more. So that'd be 69.5. So that's 69.5. And there, we solved the triangle. Now I will give you a hint on your homework. A lot of you, when you're doing number 3, you're going to think that this is assumed to be a 90. It just seems like it if you're the pitcher, but this does not make a 90-degree angle, so don't assume that it is. All right, enjoy your homework.